All right, welcome to another edition of Leaders Being Heard. Today we have a different formation. We are with Christina. Hello, Christina, and with Manolo.
Hello.
Hi,
Hi
Manolo.
guys. Hi.
So today we are having a complex topic, I would say, which is it's going to be interesting to just also have your opinion. So the team today is my team more effective than 6 months ago? Or if you like 3 months or a year, whatever, it doesn't matter. How do we measure? How do we know that a team is more effective? So let's start first with the first question. What does it mean to be effective? You as a person, you with your team, who would like to start?
I could start.
Okay,
if
go
you
for it,
like.
Manolo.
Go
So
ahead, Manolo.
let's put it simple a little bit. An effective team, it's a team in which their team members work together well, and they get better and better as time goes on. That's simple as that. In time, they learn how they operate, how they work. They become more skilled in activities they perform. They became more skilled in how they coordinate their actions. And I think they will support each other. They monitor each other performance, offer support, ask support or help if needed. This is what an effective team means for me.
Okay, got it. Thank you, Christina. What does it mean for you to have an effective team and you to be effective?
Make it short. If everybody's happy, then we are an effective team.
Okay.
Now, happy, of course, has many perspectives, but in general, if we have the stakeholders, the team, the receiving party, so the guys that receive the outcome of the team, if they are happy, then I think it means that the team is effective and they produce the expected results.
Okay, so what does it mean for you is like everybody, not just your team, but your extended team with the customers, with other participants, direct or indirect in your project, to be happy. So yeah,
one happy family.
one big happy family. Yes. All right, so we got it. So how do you measure this happiness, this effectiveness?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't think there is a standard way to measure this. It depends from team to team, from, I don't know, from context to context, and type of the project or endeavor you are working on. Let's start from what are the prerequisites for a team to become truly effective? What are the needs? From my experience, I saw that teams are more effective when they are sharing a clear goal, the same vision, and they have this sense of motivation to bring this vision to life. So and basically they are committed to play their role in the team in order for the overall success of the team, you know. So it's not only about them, but it's about the teamwork. For this, you need to have a clear responsibilities to know very well each team member what should do, and to have the support from the environment to offer them the needed context in order for them to grow.
It's very powerful what you said, right? Like it's what I what I heard in that, what you shared, right, is like having a common goal. All the team members are aligned with the goal, right? We need to deliver this project by the end of this month, right? And everybody is on board with that. This is one of the aspects. The second, what I heard is also like them being support for each other, being a team, a true team, right? Supporting each other to overcome whatever is there to overcome. This is, and also the environment, right? Like outside, to have the support of the company, of the management, and so on. So this is something that I also heard in what you shared. Yeah, very powerful. And also one more thing that you said, and I think this is the most powerful one, is like team members are responsible, right? Are responsible and for their role in the team, right? If you are, I don't know, a Scrum Master or an analyst or a tester or whatever role you are, you assume that role, right? You are not just saying, oh, I'm just doing this piece and everybody else, I don't care about it, right? So it's more like this responsibility. Very nice. What about you, Christina?
I forgot the question.
Well, it's how do you look at the team if it's effective or not? Is it like a metrics you measure it?
I think this is yeah. I think it's the most difficult question is if I measure, and if yes, how? Okay, because
okay.
yes, to be effective, it means you compare. I mean, you have especially in the context of our topic today, right? How do I know if we are more effective now than 3 months ago or 6 months ago? It means we compared something, right? And we have some, I don't know, numbers, something to compare, yeah. And I guess, here is how many people would answer, I do measure the effectiveness of my team as of today. Yeah. How many do they say, yes, I do? And how many say, yes, let me think about it, you know? And as Manolo was saying, there are multiple ways to check effectiveness, not ways, sorry, perspectives, slides, angles, like what do you want to measure? And more precisely, why do you want to measure? Yeah, because maybe a number of bugs you don't want to measure just because you accept what it is, because you just want to be fast on the market and you assume that, and this is not something that is important for you, but you want to test, I don't know, the speed of delivery. Yeah, because this is hugely important for you. And then you have a perspective that you want to measure, and then to say, am I today better than 3 months ago? Are we more effective in this speed of delivery? Or quality of delivery. So if we choose something else, like our system needs to be bug free, yeah, then, and also, so the point is that what do we want to measure, which comes from why do we want to measure, what's the pain that we are trying to address, or what's the need. It may not be a pain, but if the client asks to see how is the money spent, then it's a need, yeah, and it's a fair need. You need to check on this. So there are angles. They depend on what you want to measure, and then how to measure. That's a different story as well. And it's a space in here. Huge.
Yeah. Manolo, do you want to add something to what Christina is sharing?
Yeah, sure. Of course, there is a need. There is a context in which you want to measure the effectiveness of a team. In general, probably the customers want you to be more effective, to get more value from the work you are performing faster and better, and I don't know how. However, also you are as an individual, or you are as a team, maybe you want to be more effective, you want to grow, you have this intrinsic motivation to become better version of yourselves, or a better version of your team. It's a journey. As Christina mentioned, depend on the angles and what you like to measure. There are different angles. So those could be like metrics related to, I don't know, customer satisfaction, your employees' satisfaction, your team members, how happy are they, how empowered they are feeling, how easy is to release something to their customers, for example, or I don't know, the level of engagement. You could use surveys, you could use different techniques to measure that. Some could be like, I don't know, using some scientific methods. Other than that, others could be just I don't know, if you are in a position to observe behaviors and team dynamics, and you can figure it out if the things are going better or worse. Why do you want to measure it? Besides the growth, maybe you want to I don't know, to see if there are some variances on the thresholds that you establish internally or with your customers. And if you have variances which are above the thresholds, then you need to inspect what happened and to adapt to have some improvements, actions agreed with the team. Or you can use different metrics which show the improvements at, I don't know, the ways of working, let's say, how the work is delivered, is performed.
Is it like, before moving forward, right? So
Yeah.
you have like this motivation, right? You said, Christina said at the beginning, you know, when the team is effective or performant, you know, in another way, when everybody is happy, right? The customer is happy, the team is happy, right? It means that things are going good there, right? You said like, you at the beginning, you said like people are more engaged with the goal, right? So now, I guess it's more like measuring something. It's part of you reaching that goal, right? Or because if it's a longer goal, like 6 months, a year, it's very easy to drift, right? To kind of go and not reach that goal, right? So this is one reason to measure it. And of course, at the beginning, people are very, I would say, engaged with the project at the beginning. Perhaps there is a period of forming, but then they're engaged, and then after a while they're also drifting. So you need to also be careful about that, right? So it's more or less in regards to this, right? You want to get there, as you said it, right? In the amount of money, in the time frame that you said, and so on, right? So this is, I guess, one of the whys with the measure. How do you measure, right? And you mentioned also some metrics there, right? And my point is like, okay, so this is why, and in a way, how? Is it like something that we do? Is it something that people do? This is also for you watching us. Tell us, how do you measure it? Are you doing your measurements? What is your experience?
I can share an example. Some years ago, a client was complaining that the team does not perform, or it performs too slow. Yeah, it was something difficult to measure, and I don't know, maybe the story points were high for the stories, and yeah, something like as a feeling, right?
Mhm.
And okay, we were as a team, we needed to prove or to check whether we were slow or not, right? And if we are
Mhm.
slow, we needed to do something. If we weren't slow, it was just a feeling, we needed to. So, but again, it came as a need, right? We got it as we need to understand something, okay? And what we did was to sit with the team, try to understand the client, where were they coming from? What was the pain actually?
Mhm.
And for example, we tried to analyze the number of questions that were asked by the team during the sprint on the stories. That was something that we wanted to measure, because this is something that can impact the speed, right? We tried to analyze how long a story stays in dev compared to code review, compared to waiting for to be tested, something like that. So we tried
Mhm.
to see this, and to also, so we gathered facts from different perspectives.
Mhm.
Whether it was good or not, I don't know, but we compared these times with other teams. So not the
Mhm.
story points, we didn't compare the story points, but the moment when a story starts dev towards average time until it is put in code review and the next step and the next steps, right?
Mhm.
And so we didn't have the metrics. We kind of searched for them and see what is useful, what can give us some indicative. So for example, if we found out that the dev time of a story is 80% out of the lifetime of a story in sprint, that would mean something. If we identify that it stays 20%, and how much depends also on how much it stays in testing. But this kind of forced us to analyze what we do. And in the end, we didn't necessarily come up with an answer whether we were slow or not. Actually, we came with some numbers which could be analyzed apart from the feelings. So a feeling is something, but when you look at some numbers, you may say, okay, these are fair, or I feel they are too high, or I think I consider they are too high. Let's see if we can optimize this, right? So based on the numbers, we could see that actually for us, it was something in the testing area that needed to be improved. So we found something to work on and to improve, just looking and analyzing and putting seeing some measures.
So to conclude in a way and to have a question is like having these facts, right? This data allowed you to have some insights, right? Otherwise you are left with feelings, right? And it's like, it's bad or it's good or whatever conclusion you have based on your feelings. If you are like in the bad mood that day, perhaps everything is like not collapsing. Got it. How do you do it, Manolo, with your teams? How do you?
Well, depends, to be honest. And it's a good thing that you don't have to rely only on your feelings. What is good, what is bad. It could have different meanings for a person or an individual. In my teams, in general, we are looking a lot if we are able to consistently achieve our goals, our sprint goals, for example. Goals which are agreed and which are taking us towards the long-term goals, toward the product goals, toward the product visions, and so on. This is one of the main things I'm looking at with the team, and we are discussing about to see why it happened to not reach the goal, because that could happen. Also, because I'm using a lot of Scrum, I'm working in a Scrum environment. In some projects, I try to add some Kanban practices and Kanban metrics to our measurements to look from different point of view. So to look from the workflow perspective, because the team was happy, but actually we felt that something is not that good in terms of how we are delivering, and adding those practices from the Kanban gave us a new perspective of where are the bottlenecks in our workflow, what can we improve, we have too much work in progress or things like that, we have a lot of items in the backlog which are aged, and we need to see why is that, to identify where are the sources of waste in our workflow. And later on, I also did discover evidence-based management, which is a framework created also by Scrum.org, and I think is really powerful and helpful because you have key value areas. It's about the value that you deliver, key value areas. You have unrealized value, you have current value, you have ability to innovate, and you have time to market. So those 4 key value areas with different metrics and indicators could really help you and your stakeholders to get a feeling, let's say, where you are and if you improve over time, you know. Yeah. Those are the things that we did.
Got it. So in a way, what I heard is like Christina said, like at the beginning, bluntly, in a way, you need to have metrics, right? To kind of not go to big feelings, to look at the metrics over time. You have some certain metrics in place, look at the process you mentioned. And in a way, you look at all of these figures, metrics, whatever. And based on this, you kind of say, well, you know, my team is not effective, or a person in the team is not effective. What is next, right? What happens when you are in this scenario, when the team is not effective? What should you do then?
You should have an open conversation within the team.
Okay.
A retrospective event, for example, and brainstorm together and identify improvement actions. Discuss what you can do better. Because, you know, good metrics, or good metrics or good trends or positive trends of the metrics make people feel better. This is how we work somehow. I mean, imagine that we are doing this live event, but in the following days, we are looking on the number of likes, if people react, or I don't know. We are humans, we need some numbers that help us to validate that what we are doing, it's good somehow, you know. So yeah, if we see that the numbers are not that expected, then what you do, you discuss how you can do it better next time, you know. And this is the same with the teams. I mean, if the team is not happy, or the customers are not happy, or the stakeholders are not happy, or if anyone is not happy, how we can improve this happiness. Let's see.
Okay. I have this impression that this is a difficult conversation, and we are missing Andra today here, but perhaps we can also look up again at this kind of conversation. How do you manage this conversation with teams that are not performing, What is for you, Christina? How are you dealing? How do you see it?
Yeah, I would add something to what Manolo said. So first of all, in order to check effectiveness, you need to have some measurements in place, okay? So I think what I would take most out of the conversation today is, if you don't have any metrics, that's fine. Don't worry about that.
Yeah.
Just think about, do you need some or not? At least this. Okay. Something else that I want to add to what Manolo said. Okay, have a metrics, have a conversation, try to find a solution together. Fine, very nice. If you don't succeed with the open conversation and you're still stuck after 3 months or I don't know something, what do you do? And here I would call a friend. Yeah, I mean, this is a message to myself as well. Don't sit in the same situation if you feel you don't make progress. If you see by the numbers that you don't make progress, if you see that you continuously don't deliver within the sprint the number of story points committed, right, for 3 months, and you couldn't make any change in this with your own forces, the team's forces, right? Go ask for help. Ask somebody with more experience. Ask somebody you trust. Ask for a coach. Ask for a manager. Involve the client in the conversation. Do something outside of the team's reach. I mean, ask for help. And what I find super interesting is the moment I open up the conversation with the client, with somebody that I would say they couldn't help or they wouldn't want to hear, or I would disturb them, offend, or whatever, this kind of negative thoughts. No, people are open to hear, to see if they, with very little effort on their side, maybe they can cause a positive change within the team and stuff like that. So the point I would take further, so after we try to do it by ourselves, improve, monitor, stuff like that. If it doesn't work, ask for help.
Yeah, so this is a valid point, right? If you're stuck, just go to others, right? Ask for someone else, ask for a coach, ask for a more ask a senior colleague, ask the customer. Yeah, very good. All right, so I think we are on time this episode. Anything else for you guys before we want to add to the conversation? I know we are just scratching the surface of effectiveness of team performance. Perhaps in the future we can go deeper and have more insights into this. But for the moment, I hope the one watching us are getting an impression about what does it mean. Anything else for you guys, Manolo and Christina?
Yeah, I would just like to add, Andrei is not here, but when you are tackling a difficult discussion, use candor a lot. It will help for sure.
Okay. Got it. Christina, anything else for you?
Just summarizing, I would close with a question to the colleagues hearing us. What would you measure first when you go home? I mean, to your project. What would be one thing that you would like to measure? And just let yourself be led by that topic.
Okay, got it. All right, for you watching us, thank you for watching us, and don't forget to like our video. You heard Manolo, to improve our metrics. And don't also forget to subscribe to be up to date to our latest video. Thank you, Manolo. Thank you, Christina, for the conversation today. Great conversation. And for you at home, see you next time. And